Hi everyone, welcome to Wolfie's World. I'm Wolfie Rankin, and a little bit of a trip down memory lane tonight. But first, I want to talk about something a little bit funny. You know this mystery record that I've shown you a few times that's got nothing on it. It's just a test pressing. Well, I wondered about it for years, and I went to a record shop with a friend, Chrissy next door. And we decided we'd find out once and for all what this record is. And it's Ryuichi Sakamoto with Risky. Lyrics by Iggy Pop. You mean like this one? Yep. Exact same record. How I got these, my radio teacher just kind of said, I've got a bunch of records. Take them. This is what I've told you before. But I think I must have taken this copy and that other one on the same night, because this is not really something that I would buy. And also there's a little sticker there that says, if we can get it in focus, which we can't, so stuff it. It says sample record, not for sale. So it's a DJ copy. So I've got the DJ copy and I've got the test pressing, apparently. So I didn't know, but I do now. So, and funny enough, it's not in my Discogs for some reason. I don't know why. Also, I've got one of the things that I picked up the same night. There was Swing Out Sister, and there was some kind of rap thing, couple of rap sort of guys or dance music type people, that with one of those names that was kind of like a number and a letter or something like that. I think so. One of them. They were a dime a dozen once, and you could never remember their names, so they never became famous. And there was another one called Meet My Friend. Meet my friend. He knows every little trick. Meet my friend called Dick. Okay. So anyway, what I was going to say was, when I first got my half-decent stereo record player combo thing, tape player, radio unit, Mum got it for me, and it wasn't the best. It was a Philips 3-in-1, but no, it wasn't the best. But anyway, that's what I had, and it got me through the 80s. Kept my sanity in check, that lovely little thing. I never got rid of it. I've still got it up in the attic somewhere. And I was going through a transition phase from, a kid to someone who was interested in more adult stuff. So I'm just going to show you some of the things that I had. One of the records I've got, and it's not in great condition because I knocked it around a fair bit, but it's Hey, it's Daryl and Ozzy. And of course, all the Aussies would know that this is from Hey, It's Saturday, a show that ran on Australian television for some 22 years, I think. So it was really big. And the thing was with it, it started off at this stage as a kid's thing. And as it progressed, the show kind of grew up with the audience. So they started to, tell a few lewd jokes and things. So I'm trying to get some light on there. It's a bit dark in this room, but yeah, gatefold thing, and it's been knocked around, but that it had to happen, me being a kid at the time. So, never mind. And Muppet Movie. I think a lot of you would probably have the Muppet Movie, I'm sure. But that Rainbow Connection is on that, and I love that song. I want that song played when I cark it, and I'm taken away by the men in the truck, or if I die in a hospital or something miserable like that. Rainbow Connection, please, at my funeral. Oh, that's a bit morbid. It's a bit sad. And I had a few other records that were sort of, it's just starting to get into the more adult stuff. So that's one of the first ABBA records. This one, ABBA Arrival, and unfortunately what I did with this one was just after I got it, I put it up on the back seat of the car, and by the time we got to our destination, it had warped. So I never really got to play it. But I know there's some good songs on there. Maybe if this comes out on 180 gram coloured vinyl, yeah, definitely pick it up. That'd be nice. I'd like that. So anyway, a little bit of family history. So I've got that far. And I've got this new record player, and my birthday's coming up. And my mum said to me, "Your birthday's coming up. Would you like me to buy you a record?" And I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." She said, "Well, you write a list of the albums that you'd like and I'll get you one." Great, so I did. And she went off to the record shop and I went to school. Didn't have any idea what she got for me. My mother was wonderful. I'm going to show you why. Mum comes into my room and she says, "Happy birthday. I've got you something." And she hands me a bag and she says, "I took your note to the woman behind the counter," and I said, "Have you got any of these?" And she said, "I've got them all." And Mum said, "I'll take them." So she took the lot. I think I only wrote down, about 5 or 6. So, Oxygen by Jean-Michel Jarre. Not quite as good as I thought it was, because I'd heard the funky, more boppy sort of version of Oxygen, which was playing on the radio at the time. And I thought, well, maybe the whole album's like that, but it's the rest of the album's really slow, and I was a little bit underwhelmed by it. But that didn't stop me getting Jean-Michel Jarre stuff. I'll tell you why. Because later on, when I started collecting CDs, Magnetic Fields, Zuluk, that's my favourite. Equinox, which was one of my first CDs ever. And the concerts in Houston. So, my brother-in-law had an album too that I used to bug him to play, and he had a big quadraphonic player, and I used to say, "Would you take this record out and play it for me?" And sometimes he actually would. Yeah, everybody knows that cover. You should know what that is without me telling you what that is. That's Tubular Bells. And that is one of the most brilliant albums out there. And if you don't have that in your collection, I'm ashamed. Although, quite frankly, there's probably a lot of stuff that I don't have, because my collection compared to some of you guys is really quite small. Roxy Music, Avalon, that was a goer. I really enjoyed that record. I thought it was fantastic and highly recommend it. It's a bit dark. It's not really coming out there. There we go. That's not too bad. John and Vangelis, The Friends of Mr. Cairo. I don't know. I just heard something about this album at the time, and I thought it must be cool or something. I must get it. And I don't know. It's kind of slow, and I wasn't terribly satisfied with it, so never mind. This was a score for me, though. I really enjoyed this album. ABC, The Lexicon of Love, brilliant new wave stuff. Thoroughly enjoyed this album. I love it to pieces. So I was very glad that I put that on my list. And I'm very glad my mother picked it up for me. And I was very sort of fascinated with soundtracks back then when I was a kid. And I don't really know why, but E.T. was very big at the time, and I just loved the movie. So I just said, could you get me that one? And, I really wasn't too thrilled with it as an album. So, sorry, John Williams, but yeah, it's just it was a great soundtrack in the film itself, but it's quite slow. And so I ended up with 3 that was a little bit too slow for me, and I should have got something a little bit more up. But I just wonder what I would have got if I could go back in time and sort of do another list. I don't know. Then I started to get into CDs, right? And my very first CD was this one, Michael Jackson's Thriller, which I think most of you have probably got somewhere in your collections. Brilliant album. I remember when I was at high school and Billie Jean came out and everybody was just all over it. And the album went straight to #1. And then Beat It came out. And that was incredible too. It wasn't really up to my taste, but anyway. Thriller was next, I think. Thriller was the next one out. And that was the one that wowed me. And I got the single of Thriller. And I felt a bit cheesed off because there was about half of Vincent Price's rap missing. So I didn't like the 7-inch version at all. So I had to get the album version, and the only way I was going to get the album version was if it was on CD. The only trouble is I didn't have a CD player at the time. But that was cool because it allowed me to get about 5 or 6 CDs before I had the CD player. So I had something to play. It would have been a bummer to have just one disc. So that would have sucked. And if I can just grab that while I'm here, it's a little bit hard to get. There we go. Okay. Believe it or not, this is the very first model portable compact disc player that was out. And this is the Sony D50. And it still works, and I can still use it if I want to. Little bit of dust in the potentiometer, so it kind of makes a little buzzy noise when I try to turn the volume up and down. And it's got this power pack that you've got to use. And apparently, if you wanted to actually use it as a portable device, you had to buy a separate battery pack. And the battery pack was enormous and really heavy, so it was completely impractical. But you had to put about 4 D cells in it, I think, and you can imagine they wouldn't have lasted too long. But anyway, I just want to say too, I've got this is one of my favourites. It's the Electric Dreams soundtrack. I just love it. I just think it's fantastic. So I love the film too. It came out on a DVD a while back, and I just went, I've got to have that. But the sound was terrible. It was just like, I don't know, they just didn't care about the sound. So, dear oh dear. My father bought me that at some stage. Dream of the Blue Turtles by Sting, which I love. Some of the songs are a little bit depressing, like Russians, perhaps. So, Moon Over Bourbon Street's a good song about vampires, if you like vampires and horror and all that stuff. So that's kind of cool. Shout out to friends. I know this woman, and I've spoken to her extensively on Twitter, and she is marvelous. This is Love Thy Will Be Done by Martika. She is a lovely woman and very friendly, and just love chatting to her when I can get a chance to. So hi Martika, lots of love from Wolfie. And more friends I've got to say hello to is the Freds on Twitter. Here's I'm Too Sexy. That was their one massive hit. So you know that one. Everybody knows I'm Too Sexy. So those are really good guys. They follow me, I follow them, and we will chat to each other now and then. I also would like to say hello to Holly Johnson and Boy George, who I've also said hello to, and the fabulous Marilyn, who's hopefully coming back with a new record before much longer. So thumbs up there. Come on, Marilyn, do it. We want you to. We think a new album would be fantastic, and as soon as you bring one out, I'm going to buy it for sure, and especially if it's a collector's edition. So please make it a colourful version for me, would you? I hope so. Look, I don't really mind if Marilyn hasn't had a record for a long time, and I'd really like to see him bring one out. And I don't care if it's red, black, blue, pink, caramel. Caramel, that'd be an interesting colour. And one of my favourite CDs is a strange one, and I used to play this a lot when I read books. It's called Timberwolf in the Tall Pines. And all it is wind in the trees, the occasional bear, few wolf howls there and here and there. It's not all it's not an hour of howling. It's just sporadic howls in the forest and that kind of stuff. So it's very pleasant. It's very pleasant, and it's nice to listen to, and it's not distracting when you're, when you're reading or something. People are funny though, with sounds. You get people who live in the city and they're aware of sirens and cars and people shouting at each other, and they can cope with that. Someone puts in a frog pond and, the frogs are making too much noise. I don't get that. Anyway, there is one last thing that I want to show you. One last final thing. I hope you're enjoying yourself too. Because I'm just hanging back. I'm not really doing anything too serious tonight. So, yeah. Okay, here it is. Yes, I finally got it. It's the picture disc that I've been talking about. The Michael Jackson 25-year picture disc. And this is an album. This is an actual playable album. There's still some people that say they don't really know what a picture disc is, and they say, "Can you actually play that?" Yes, you can. There's actually a YouTube video that shows some guy playing this on their turntable, and I'm taking the record out. Yeah, but check this out on the other side. Ooh, it's Michael Jackson and a whole lot of zombies. Hey, cool. That's rather nice. I think I would have preferred if it was him when he was transformed into his werecat. Well, you know what I'm like. Not so keen on zombies, but that's okay. This is wonderful. This is a wonderful picture disc, and I've only got 2 albums in my collection that are picture discs. The other ones, I think it's Kissing to Be Clever by Culture Club. Anyway, that's my collection for tonight. I haven't got a great deal more to say. It's been really hot, and I'm just kind of relaxing and trying to stay cool. And we had a lovely cool change this afternoon. And my Malamute dog, Jet, she's gone out the front because she's found it's a lot cooler out there at the moment, because we're getting this beautiful southerly breeze straight off the ocean, and it's absolutely fantastic. I think that's done us a lot of good, because last night, I made the last video about 3 a.m. after 3 a.m. to be honest, and it was hot, and then I fell into bed and I just Anyway, I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me. I do enjoy making these videos, and I hope that you tell your friends about me and stuff. And if you want to contact me, you can do so via YouTube, of course, but I'm on Twitter at Wolfie Rankin, and also I'm on Facebook and G+, and a whole lot of other things. So, just browse around and see if you can find me. Okay? Okay, that's all. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.